Tonight, the Kpandai by-election saga is approaching its climax, with the Supreme Court set to rule tomorrow on a High Court's decision to nullify the December 7, 2024 parliamentary election results. We are live in the constituency for reactions to the latest polls, which puts the MPP's Matthew Nyindam ahead of the NDC candidate. We have more, plus hear from the Electoral Commission, which says it is on a high alert.
In time, training have said that within 5 days we should be able to do it. And the movement of ballots to Kpandai, we should be able to do it within 2 days. So in terms of preparation for the 30th, until anything otherwise comes from the Supreme Court or the Appeal Court.
We have details on this on Top Story, brought to you always by Telecell, Connecting Energies, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil Enjoy, Holy Sleep, and also by Shield Pension Trust. Into the future with you. Well, tonight the Supreme Court is expected to deliver its ruling tomorrow in a case filed by former Kpandai MP Matthew Nyindam, who is seeking to overturn a High Court decision to annul his victory in the 2024 parliamentary election. Ahead of ruling, a new global info analytics poll has put the MPP's Matthew Nyindam 4 percentage points ahead of the NDC's Daniel Wakpal with just 2 weeks to the December 30 parliamentary rerun in the Kpandai constituency. Mr. Nyindam is challenging the jurisdiction of the Tamale High Court Commercial Division, which upheld an election petition filed by the NDC candidate Daniel Wakpal 32 days after the results were gazetted beyond the 21-day period permitted by law. And that's the argument that his lawyers have been pushing. Deputy Director of Elections of Research at the Electoral Commission, Alfred Tete, says the EC is fully prepared for the upcoming rerun, which is scheduled for the 30th of December.
So this, we are within time. Training have said that within 5 days we should be able to do it. And the movement of ballots to Kpandai, we should be able to do it within 2 days. So in terms of preparation for the 30th, until anything otherwise comes from the Supreme Court or the Appeal Court. And as I said, we are expecting 66,850 voters within the Kpandai constituency to go to the poll. The last time we recorded 78 to 79% of turnout in 2024. Yes, we're going to publish notice of poll for the elections. It's a rerun, so we publish notice of poll to inform the public, especially those in Kpandai, about the conduct of the rerun and then the printing of ballot papers.
When will you do that?
Yes, you said?
I wanted to know when.
We can do this. We have 15 days.
Okay.
These things can be done within 10 days. For now, if I'm aware, I can't recall exactly which court is handling on the 5th and then on the 16th. I am aware that either the Supreme Court is coming out on the 16th or the 15th, and the Appeal Court is coming out on the 15th or something. So for us, the officials, in terms of recruitment, we are in the process of recruiting.
So that's the Electoral Commission there on the preparations ahead of the elections on 30th December. But they acknowledge that they are also keeping an eye on what's happening in the courts as well. Now, both the MPP and the NDC have all been reacting to the poll, which suggests Matthew Nyindam is on course to reclaim the Kpandai seat.
No, we are not campaigning. You know the reasons. We are living in a democratic country, and you've listened to it. The EC just tells you that they are going by their dates, but they will do anything untoward that will affect the democratic dispensation we have. Then that is very unfortunate. We are very confident that if we are going to, then that is very unfortunate. We are very confident that if we are going to apply the law, then I don't think that the Kpandai election should be coming on. But if it is that we are going to throw through the law so that somebody's right hand must be washed and the other one's feet should be washed, then that is what the state is going to. So for we are very confident that the law will speak. If the law decides to speak anyhow and did not speak on the direction of the law, because it has happened, there is precedent, and the law is very specific.
I can assure you the MPP is campaigning in Kpandai. We are with them in Kpandai. They are there campaigning. They come here and do propaganda and let people know that they are pursuing legal, but nothing. They are doing campaign. They are vigorously in the constituency all over the place. And then we are crisscrossing with them there. Yesterday, our team national officers were in the constituency to have meeting with all our branch executives and all that. And we met them. We met the MPP group also doing their own thing over there. So just ignore them. For them, they know their propaganda. They will tell you they are not campaigning. You remember what happened to Ablekumanov when they indicated they were not participating in the elections. They did press conference and rubbished the Electoral Commission and everybody and said they were not participating. But you saw they did it. Less than 14 hours to the election, they zoomed into the constituency. They were all over the.
Me was some resident of Kpandai who spoke to John. You say while they welcome the global info analytic poll, they believe the true outcome will only be determined at the poll ballot at the ballot box or at the poll on December 30.
And our research there and our prediction there make me about say a bit bam and at the same time so bam and I don't grow up. People be putting a banner. If you are pulling a station when our best stand up and say, if you are people win a bit, member to and I find so you know, same to say, Obianian and I think you can put to into Obia. Well, one got a woman baby, over to Avanama, mean to make a tomorrow with tomorrow, but Ubuntu on here, one casa, while you make it say to my assumancy. Only they are very research, but I can't die and I want better a banner, and there one sound, and no one sound fan whom you down through a better Bibia in the mass.
On my back down, and as one but down on the research on one senior phobia, and I say, I'm phobia. I investigate Apple Brown, so we say, one or four child, Matthew is strong, but at the end of the year, I don't know if you are checking. Everything says, I don't know if you because anyone never comes about Amu. In the Southern Obian, Nelson, a veteran, no, the woman say Matthew is strong, but when that day comes, you might not know who will be winning. And so, when you are fact check any. And on what predicting who said this person is strong down into on no ultimate predicting and ma obia ordinance and I said obia ordinance and I'm obia also on the reading and I said on the dinner sooner the constituency and Punti and Brand. We cannot tell that person what to do. Into one and a prediction into a cardano and a obia and they should be a busy.
This is still top story here on Joy 99.7 FM, also live on Love 99.5 in Kumasi and our affiliates across the country, including ATL 100.5 FM. Well, this is coming just a day before the Supreme Court delivers its ruling on this matter. Where will the Supreme Court, what will the Supreme Court decide? Will the Supreme Court affirm that decision by the High Court, or will it quash it? Now, if it does, then the repercussions are there. If it upholds the decision, of course, the repercussion is that we go pose on 30th December. Would like to engage the parties to understand, the thinking of the various parties ahead of tomorrow's ruling by the Supreme Court, and then we delve into the constituency as they prepare for this election. But we've been joined by the Executive Director of the Global Info Analytics, Musa Dankwade. Grateful to you, sir, for joining us. Now, in this particular poll that you've conducted, usually when you do you find significant changes on the D-Day itself?
Thank you very much for having me. Usually the final poll that we do, we don't find a big difference between the final poll and the outcome. And if you remember, this poll is the baseline, meaning that there will be a second one, which will be the final poll. From that poll, we will see what could could happen on election day.
But do you usually see a deviation between the baseline and the final one you do before the polls?
Yes, we do. For example, in Asin there was deviation. There was improvement for NDC candidate the situation, which he won. And then also when you look at Akutia as well, MPP was leading, but in the final poll they lost, and they lost the final election. We don't know what's going to happen in Kpandai yet, but at the moment MPP is ahead with 4 points.
If you listen to the sentiment of the some of the residents that we played, I don't know if you heard it, but some say, well, the poll is a poll, but the reality of it will happen on the day the election is being held. Does it portray to you a certain direction in the community itself or in the constituency?
You know, they say a poll is a poll, but a poll is the opinion of those who are going to take part in the elections. So most often than not, if a scientific poll, the poll will reflect within the margin of error. If you look at the sentiment, generally it's a broadly positive sentiment towards the government. But we have not seen that being reflected in the performance of the governing party's candidate yet. And as I mentioned, we have 14 days or 15 days to go, and anything can happen. Now, if you look at what is happening on the ground, the parties are equally divided in terms of party affiliation. So whoever wins will be the party that is able to galvanize, mobilize people to the polls on election day.
One of the major revelations of the poll has to do with the number of people who don't have formal education in the constituency. Can that play a role in how this election swings? Whether money, or as they say, items that people give on election to buy vote buying, whether that can really play a role here?
Yes, I think that's the vulnerability of the poll, the constituency in terms of demography. I think it is one of the highest we've ever seen in polling in this country in terms of people with no formal qualification. And these are people who are normally poorer people and people who are easily swayed by material things. But regardless of that, we also know that very few, less than 10% of people take money and vote the way you want them to vote. They may take your money and vote their heart, and that could happen as well. So it's not that simple as that.
Okay. So even though that number is huge, it won't be that simple that it could really affect how the election will go out.
I think so, because most people are discerning whether they have education or not.
Okay. So if the MPP and the NDC are listening now, what do you think will be the most critical things that they need to look out for as they all prepare for this election on 30th?
Hey, look, it is about the messaging. Which message will resonate? Which message will the voters believe in? And realistically, hope that they will deliver the victory. For MPP, they must make a case that they need to have their candidate in parliament. Very strong case. And for NDC, I know they will do the same usual. Will bring with development because your MP can lobby. Same tactics that was used in Akotia. So we get to see if the people are really into developmental project and all those kind of things, and really would want to put that above the love they have for the PC, then they may sway. If not, if the candidate is very strong and they love him and they like him, they may stick with him regardless of the promises.
All right, let's see how that goes. I'm grateful to you, Mr. Dankwa, for joining us here. Musa Dankwa is the executive director of the Global Info Analytics. Let me bring in the NDC's Rashid Tanko Computer, who is the deputy director of elections and IT of the party. I'm grateful to you, sir, for joining us. Ahead of the hearing in the Supreme Court tomorrow, what's the feeling like amongst the rank and file of your party? In relation to that hearing involving the Kpandai seats?
Kojo, let me say good evening to you and your cherished listeners across the globe. Well, we are confident that tomorrow they will dismiss them. I mean, they have no business being at the Supreme Court. It has no basis. And then, so we are very sure that the laws will make justice to it by dismissing them. I mean, they have no case. No case completely.
Have all parties been served, if you are aware of that?
Well, as of today, I'm aware that we have not been served. We've only been hearing that. Well, we are not party as a political party to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's our candidate. But the information I have, I called him. He said he's not aware. He has not been served. And so, well, let's see what happens.
If he has not been served, then there can't be a hearing tomorrow. Not so.
Of course, that is it. That is it. Because I spoke with him this morning, and because of this morning I was in your studio, and then wanted to be sure that he's been served and all that. But he told me he has not been served. He's not even aware. He's also been hearing on social media, on TV, on radio, but he has not been served. I mean, that is what is going on. Nobody has given anything.
This was in the morning. Have you spoken to him later afternoon to understand whether or not he's half the service?
Oh no. Of course. I mean, he's somebody I work with 24/7. I mean, if he's served, he would have informed me accordingly.
Okay. So for what you know, will lawyers for your candidate be in court tomorrow?
Well, we will be going there as friends of the court because we don't want any surprise. Yes, we will be going there because we are hearing it. So we don't want any surprise. We'll go there as friends of the court, which of course is allowed.
Okay. You're going to ask friends to probably get a lawyer to defend when matters arise, or what, really? Just to be friends of the court?
Yes, of course. That's what I'm saying. We don't want surprise because we know what MPP can do. We know them. We know their track records.
So you are prepared for this potential hearing tomorrow?
No, I'm saying that we have my candidate has not been served.
Okay.
And so because he has not been served legally, they cannot proceed with the hearing. But you know MPP with their crooked way of doing things. We have to be sure that they don't spring any surprise on us.
Well, okay. Stay with me. Let me bring in Haruna Mohammed, who is the Deputy General Secretary of the MPP. Haruna, we're just learning that the NDC's candidate, Daniel Wakpal, has not been served. What do you know about the potential hearing of this matter tomorrow?
Thank you very much, Bruce. Good evening to you, and then good evening to Tanko, my senior brother. Indeed, we have filed our case in the Supreme Court. They have been hiding their candidate because they know they have a weak case. They know that the law is not for them. They have infringed on the laws of the Republic of Ghana. We've gone in for a substituted service, and that substituted service has been executed. So for me, I'm not going to engage in litigation outside. We'll meet at the Supreme Court tomorrow, and the law and the facts speaks for itself.
But I mean, this morning, Tanko said that you had even alluded to the fact that there was an earlier gazette, and also that there was the January Gazette. So if that's the case, then your case of saying that they filed out of time does not hold water.
Rosa, let me tell you, there's nowhere that there is any January Gazette that covers all the polling stations or all the constituencies in Ghana. There is a January Gazette in a 2024 December 24th Gazette. There is only one Gazette document in Ghana. And that Gazette document in Ghana contains all the constituencies in that particular Gazette, except the Ablekuma North. And I can tell you on authority that today or tomorrow, if you go to the Ghana Publishing Company to buy the Gazette, that is the only Gazette that they will sell to you. And this 6th January reliance that they have been doing. It has no original document in the files of the Gazette notifications. We have used it. We've used it in Akwetia. And the NDC went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court invited all of us. We went there. The Electoral Commission filed the certified Gazette notification. The NDC procured the certified Gazette notification and submitted, and the Supreme Court ruled based on PNDC Law 284, Section 18, 1 to 2. So it is very straightforward. There is only one Gazette notification. If they so think that they have another Gazette notification, they should bring the original and proof of purchase to the Supreme Court tomorrow.
And this
Let's meet in court. Bring your document, bring your proof of purchase, and then we will all meet in court, and then the Supreme Court will once again deliver on that particular judgment. And
this Gazette you speak about is dated when?
I can't hear you.
This Gazette you speak about is dated when?
It's dated 24th December 2024. 24th December 24, with Gazette notification number 234. That is the Gazette notification number. And then the one that is dated 6th January is numbered number 3. And these are the constituencies that is contained on the 6th January, inclusive in the one Gazette notification I'm talking about. Domi Kwabenya, Okaikwe Central, Tema Central, and then the 4th one is Techiman South. These are the 4 constituencies that is included in the Gazette notification that is referenced to 6th of January. The rest are 24th of December, inclusive of and Akwetia, where the Supreme Court are taking a decision of the original and certified Gazette notification, which was used in passing the judgment at the Supreme Court.
So you're optimistic that tomorrow, if there is a hearing, it will go in your favor?
Yeah, it will go in our favor, unless, of course, the course finally will become animal farm, or we will liken it to dictatorship, or we are going to through procedure and confuse all law students and legal or practitioners in our courts. So this is a procedure, and that's what I have said. They filed out of time, and they themselves know very well that the time that they filed is out of time. And the reliance on the 6th January, we have just told them, we relied on same in Akwetia, and the Supreme Court pointed to us, including the Electoral Commission, that is not the right Gazette notification. And that particular Gazette notification is a photocopy or something that has no original. So if they know that they have an original of that, because we have tested that in court, and we are very confident that the Supreme Court cannot vary their decision. If they so vary the decision, then it means that in future somebody can win with 20,000. Then you decide that you want to remove the person from Parliament. That is something that we must protect. Our democracy must be protected. Our laws must be protected. The confidence of the judicial system must be put in the people of Ghana for us to all know that justice can really be served, but not injustice.
In the next minute, if the court hearing does not go in your favor, will you participate in the election, the rerun in Kpandai?
If it doesn't vote in our favor, it means that the laws of Ghana have stopped working. And in that particular circumstance, we'll tell the good people of Ghana and proceed to Kpandai and take back our seats. And we'll wait for what the future will hold for all of us.
All right, I'm grateful to you. Let me bring in Tanko again. Tanko, so there you have it. The MPP believe that they have a case which can go in their favor if the hearing comes off tomorrow. And even if it doesn't, they are ready for you in the Kpandai rerun.
Let me tell you, we have the Gazette here. Monday, 6th January 2025, published by the authority, Republic of Ghana, Electoral Commission of Ghana, publication of parliamentary election results 2024, and it's about 8,064 pages. It's here. I don't know where he's quoting from. These are the problem I have with them. You are in opposition and you are still doing propaganda. MPP, they are in opposition. They are still doing propaganda. manufacturing their own documents. This one is based on this, that the court established that, yes, let's come to case management for the matter that has been filed on 25th January. The lawyers didn't run away from it. They didn't say that the Gazette was not correct, and therefore they are not going to participate in this. And they didn't bring any action to Supreme Court to stop the High Court in Tamale from proceeding with a petition. They followed through 11 months with us, only for them to lose power in the court. And they know that they are going to waste everybody's time. They've run to Supreme Court. And that is what they are doing.
Well, he says there they relied on the Gazette you're talking about, and the Supreme Court said the actual one was on the December 1.
I am saying that the one that we have here was the one that was used. And at case management point, they didn't raise any issue about it. The Electoral Commission was there. The Electoral Commission was the second respondent. And they brought it. They were cross-examining on this. And they authenticated it. Go and check the ruling. We didn't bring the thing to the court. That's what we are talking about. And we are saying that they are in opposition and they are still doing propaganda. Look, it's just unfortunate that they have not served our candidate. He's not been served as we speak now. We have not been served. Well, the NDC is not party to this.
Okay.
It is a candidate who is the applicant, whose release has been upheld. They need to look for him. He's currently busy campaigning, and then they failed. And so we are not even aware what is going on. The only thing is that we will be there as friends of the court tomorrow because we don't trust NPP.
But Musa Dankwai's poll suggests that Matthew Nyindam is still leading in the constituency. Okay, I've lost him there.
Yes, it's an area that we are very much interested in. Research is an area that we shouldn't joke with, and especially when it's coming from Isa Dankwa, is Mr. So anytime he comes out with results like this, we take it on board. Hello?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes, I said we take it on board, look at it, and analyze it properly, and see which areas, the gray areas that we can work on to our benefit. And I can assure you, we have taken his resource on board. Within the shortest possible time, we will turn the tide. I can assure you, there's some 3% undecided voters. We will make sure that they decide for the NDC.
Okay.
And so that I can assure you.
Okay.
This is not the first time we have been underdogs in by Akotia were the underdogs. The first polling he came out with, MPP were leading us. And they were all over the place. At that time, we were performing the funeral of my late boss. So we hadn't zoomed in. The same thing, as soon as the ruling came and he was booted out of parliament, he ran there, organized some chiefs. You remember he organized some chiefs and opinion leaders to come out and say they didn't want any rerun. So he was enjoying some sympathy around the place. I'm sure that might have triggered the polling that gave them this thing. But we are going to work harder. We've taken the poll seriously, and we will work harder to make sure that we beat the MPP and beat them hands down. In fact, they are going to give them a heavy defeat in the constituency. They should stop this thing and come and face us in the constituency come 30th.
Okay, so I just want to find something from you, Tanko. Has the EC also authenticated this 7th January Gazette you talk about?
I'm saying that they were the second respondent, Electoral Commission, in the case. And they were cross-examined. The first respondent lawyer didn't find anything wrong with it. They cross-examined the second respondent, cross-examined the first respondent, which is my candidate. And we went through the case. And they wrote their written address to the court on the matter before it was ruled. 14th November, the MPP lawyer, that first respondent, Nyindam lawyer, wrote his written addresses to the court, addressing the court on some of the salient issues and all. No part of it did he mention about the issue of Gazette and all that. None.
All right, Tanko, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Rashid Tanko Computer is the Deputy Director of IT and Elections for the NDC. This has been Top Story, brought to you by Telecel, Holy Insecticide Spray, and Coiling by Shield Pension Trust. My name is Samuel Kojo. Up next is Newsnight.
Good evening, welcome to Newsnight, and tonight MC for Etiwa East escapes jail term by paying fine after he was convicted for contempt of court for continuing with what the court saw as illegal mining on a disputed concession.
Fine, and I'll pay the fine. I've not been jailed. I'm here. I'm in office. I'm in office. I'm not a free man. I'm in office.
Also, the 5 regions of the north are facing a growing education crisis with betting, teenage pregnancy, poverty, and lack of schools, forcing many children out of school, as Africa Education Watch urges urgent action to address the issue.
Mainly economic drivers, child labor, galamsey, betting. These 3 things are normally male-dominated illegal activities for children, I must say.
We have details from a recent report that some students have to walk at least 3 kilometers to access a school.
We have more in Joy News special assignment titled Leukemia, Last Chance Abroad, as we rally the nation to build Ghana's first bone marrow transplant center. Coming up in business.
U.S. government to press ahead with freeze on foreign assistance to Ghana until progress is made on restructuring debt.
In sports.
And in sports, Ghana's head Kojo to add a welcomes friendly march against Germany, emphasizing the Black Stars' readiness for the big test come March 30.
And a bit later, the new sound of Christmas, how Ghana's blend of rhymes, high life and Afrobeat is giving the festive season a fresh modern rhythm. Details of these and many other stories coming up in the next 1 hour. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi.
My name is Ofori.
Join us. Be a part of this show by sending us a WhatsApp on 055 11 11 997. Details shortly.
You know how much moms always say too much of everything is bad? But there's one too much mom actually approves of. Telecel's Too Much Broadband Bundle. This festive season, all you have to do is buy the 150 Ghana Cedis Too Much Broadband Bundle in addition to your main broadband plan and get 150% bonus data. That's right.
From December 1st to 31st, simply buy the 150 Ghana Cedis Telecel Too Much Bundle in addition to your main broadband plan and receive 150% bonus data. Dial *900#, use the Telecel Play app or visit the Telecel website to buy now.
Telecel, connecting energies.
From Lagos to London, from New York to Kingston, from Durban to Korle Ghana, everyone is coming to Ghana to taste the culture. On the 26th of December, the Black Star Square becomes the heartbeat of the continent. With Black Sheriff, Omale, Tiwa Savage, King Promise, Jackie, Amare, and more on stage. It's Taste the Culture, the Black Star Experience. # Taste the Culture is sponsored by Kivo, Goyle, MTN, Bost Energies, Ghana Gas, and supported by New Gas, Softcare, and GNPC. For tickets, dial *714*91# or visit www.tastetheculturegh.com.
In my head, everything I touch is blessing. All I see is blessings, and no man can stop me. Send them away, evil eyes don't watch me.
When you wear GTP, you don't just wear fabric, you wear heritage, you wear pride, and you celebrate true Ghanaian craftsmanship. Each GTP fabric is designed and printed specially for you by our own people right here in Ghana. But true pride comes from knowing what you wear is authentic. So before you buy any GTP fabric, take a moment to match the code on the label with the code on the edge of the fabric, or simply order online at shop.gtpfashion.com. Because when you choose original GTP, you choose quality, you choose heritage, you choose Ghana. GTP Lifestyle.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom and
And my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Temania Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Center Point Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
No matter where we are, Africa always calls us home. And here in Ghana, the call is clear: to power growth and create lasting impact. At Stanbic Corporate and Investment Banking, we are creating giants and connecting businesses. From financing bold energy projects to enabling cleaner, reliable power for industries, we are fueling Ghana's transformation. With our support, Gensa Energy is delivering sustainable energy that powers Goldfields operations, helping them move closer to cleaner, greener mining. This is a story of how we bring businesses together, create jobs, empower communities, and invest in the next generation. Stanbic Bank, delivering sustainable growth, creating impact. To learn more, visit stanbicbank.com.gh.
And this is where we begin tonight, as the District Chief Executive Officer for Etiwa East, Ernest Team, escaped jail term by agreeing to pay a fine after he was convicted for contempt of court for continuing with what the court saw as illegal mining on a disputed concession. Well, he had been cited for contempt for continuing to encroach on the piece of land while the court had placed an injunction on the mining activities on it. In the last few minutes, he has been speaking to Joy News, claiming the court's verdict is an injustice against him, vowing that he never engaged in illegal mining.
Mr. Evans, I may not like to go in with this court issue, but go in. You brought a case that you have registered your land. And after registering your land, some people are still occupying the land, and you are taking the case to court. And you are seeking for injunction so that nobody will go to the land. And you realize that I have gone to the land. We brought videos, and we couldn't even see even my image in the videos. Then our lawyer Mwakweji, suggested to the judge that let us do cross-examination. And all what the judge said that the court he quoted, and you said that the court will also just permitting the law could permit also to take the written whatever, and he himself could. So he has watched the video himself, and he saw me talking the video, which is not true.
This is the judge you're talking about?
Yes, this is the judge I'm talking about.
Yeah, but the judge then says he saw you in the video that you were on the land also conducting illegal activities.
It's a big lie, and that is why today we have filed, appeal. It's a lie, a big lie. A big lie.
But the judge says from this conviction that you were on the land with your people and you were also conducting illegal mining.
It's never true, Mr. Evans. I'm a district chief executive. If you think that if a district chief executive, if I want to mine, I will leave the office, take the excavator myself, and go to the land, and I will be sitting there using the excavator mine. Normally, if you read this or you hear this thing, excuse my language, please, almost sensically, it will never go down well with anybody at all. To me, I think that it's an opportunity. It is an opportunity for me, and maybe possible God have been listening to my prayers, so that all these things will come to an end.
And you did not send people there to act on your behalf? engage in legal mining on your behalf?
I would be very happy now because of the information that we could just go for public inquiry. I would be very happy that if your institution could apply for the judgment, and if the judge have to even add the videos that I was involved, and then if they can give it to you people so that you could play.
Have you ever been involved in illegal mining?
I've never been involved.
You never owned a mining concession in Etiwa East?
You can go to Minerals Commission and check all those information.
And you've never directly or indirectly engaged in illegal mining in Etiwa East?
No.
Have you paid the fine that the court imposed today?
The day that we have gone for appeal, the day that they will, once it has come to the news like this, I think we are going to do proper, interrogation, due diligence is going to be done with this kind of case. The day that the court will turn the appeal that far, I'm going to donate money to those who are doing this TV show that they are talking about crime, whatever it is, that crime issues. I don't know, those who have been going to prison to just talk to people and see how. It's today that I got to know that indeed there's a lot of people who are in jail as a result of injustice.
So you think this verdict, this conviction is injustice?
I swear. I laugh. Because if it's not, my lawyer is saying that, let us play the video you are talking about. He said, no, I've watched it alone.
But to the question, you were convicted of contempt. You were asked to pay a fine. Have you paid the fine?
The judge asked me to pay a fine, and I'll pay the fine. I've not been jailed. I'm here. I'm in office. Evans, I'm in office. I'm not a free man. I'm in office.
So the only reason why you're not in jail tonight is because you pay the fine?
So I think that the only thing that I'm not in prison today is that God that we serve, and then the ancestors and the spirits all over, which knows that people who have good heart and who have the good spirits, who are fighting for the poor and the needy, once even when they orchestrated, like the way they orchestrated and hung Jesus Christ on the cross, he resurrected.
So that's the DC for Etiwa East Ernest in team speaking to Johnny Senior Editor Evans Mensah a while ago. Let's stay in the Eastern region and speak to our resident correspondent Maxwell Kudako, who's joining us right now. Maxwell, you have been gathering some additional information on this case and how the DC came to be convicted. Tell us the background to this.
Well, the plaintiff filed a case on a parcel of land at Ankasi. The plaintiff claim is a licensed miner who owns the concession, and he has been disposed of the land. He's been dispossessed of the land by some illegal miners, and he believes that those illegal miners are associated with the municipal chief executive. So he sued. And matter was proceeding. He came back to court, reporting to court that whilst the matter is ongoing, there are other people who are believed to be associated with the DCE or MC who are still mining on the property. So they pleaded for an order of injunction, and the court heard that injunction. So while the matter was still ongoing, the plaintiff alleged that the MC and people who are associated with him had gone onto the land and were still mining. So the plaintiff filed a contempt process in court, and upon the production of evidence before the court heard that the DC was in contempt of court because he's entered the land which has been prohibited for both parties from entering. So he was convicted for contempt of court, as you've already indicated, and then he was made to pay a fine of 12,000 Ghana cedis, which he did. This ruling of the court has led to a lot of conversations within the community. Down to this state, many have alleged that people in government are complicit in the menace of illegal mining. So the alleged involvement of the DCE and the conviction of contempt has led a lot of people in the community discussing whether or not members who are affiliated or government appointees who are in power today are not complicit, whether or not they are complicit in the fight against illegal mining. So the town of Tua East has been talking about the matter, and if you speak to people, even though the DCA has not been seen with excavator mining, people believe that his association with people who are believed to be engaged in illegal mining is a notorious knowledge for people within the community. But that's not the matter for us to say. These are some of the observation or conversation currently going on within the municipality. But the substantive matter of dispossessing the owner of the land from the land is yet to be heard by the court. This judgment is a judgment for contempt of court against the municipal chief executive.
Maxwell Kudoko, thank you very much. Let's bring in Ken Ashigbe, who is the convener of the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining. Thankful for your time this evening. The DCE denies any involvement in illegal mining, but as we speak tonight, he's a convict because he entered the disputed land, which he himself says was being degraded by illegal mining. How should this be handled by the president who appointed him? Do I have Mr. Ken Ashigbe on the line?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Right, I was asking, the DCE denies any involvement in the illegal mining activity that he was convicted for, but of course, he is now regarded as a convict. I want to find out from you how the president should handle this.
I am hoping that His Excellency John Mahama will be different from Nanadu. When the Busumihu MC was, caught involved in Galamsey, he was not, jailed. This man, he is a convict of contempt. But we should not be, if he was indeed involved in Galamsey, then Act 995 should be thrown at him. It's not just a contempt, because he is mining without a license. He is in contempt, and he should be jailed. And did I hear him calling the judge a liar? Is that also not contemptuous? So I would, you see, it is not surprising that an MP will be involved in it. It is a known fact. The only thing is that we are not getting evidence. A lot of them are sitting in their districts and municipalities and expecting the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources and NIMOS to be coming to their district to be able to arrest people who are involved in Galamsey. What are they doing as the representative of the president? So for me, what we would use now is the fact that he's an ex-convict for contempt, and definitely His Excellency the President should be taking his job from him, because he should be the one who should be dealing with the issues of illegal mining and not be finding himself in contempt. And what is the contempt? The contempt is that he's gone to a land where mining is taking place, and if he does not have a license from the Minerals Commission, then he's mining illegal. And so the fact that he's been charged for contempt in itself is an acceptance of the fact that he was engaged in illegal mining. And if he is engaged in illegal mining because of the contempt, then we should throw Act 995 at him. And he should be, now he is sitting back and, saying he's not in jail. He has to go and overturn the contempt. Otherwise, he's guilty of mining illegally as per the judges, as per the ruling of the judge. And the truth of the matter is that a lot of the MPs are either abusive, are either complicit or incompetent, because they are sitting in districts in which these things are happening.
I was about asking you that because when we spoke to our correspondent, he did indicate that the community is divided on this contempt case that has been brought upon the DC. Many suspect that he's engaged in illegal mining, but they suspect also that it is a ring of powerful men and women in that particular district who are all involved in this particular illegal mining menace. Do you think the issue is more broader than we think? It goes beyond the DC.
You see, the elephant in the room is the fact that politically exposed people, people of influence, are all involved in Galamsey. And the president himself has talked about getting at the kingpin. And so for this particular case, the president should be asking him to step aside. And we should investigate to really clear him that he is not involved in it. But it is not just this particular MC. There are a lot of the MCs who themselves are complicit, and there are a lot of politically exposed persons. When we met the president at the CSO's engagement, it was one of the questions I asked. What is happening to the Akonta mining case? What is happening to the people who were named? People in Jubilee House who were named in Martin's case? What is happening to the two NDC executives that Iyoko is supposed to be looking at? There are several of them. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And for me, I think it gives the president an opportunity to be able to help the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources that currently now is running with 9 months trying to do all of this. When people who we have put in place as the DCs, MPs in those communities are supposed to be dealing with. That's one of the policemen I will not mention his name, who I had, because I've been chastising the police themselves, that they have also not been working. He calls me and gives me evidence of the fact that it is the MPs, and I'm asking him, why wouldn't he put it out? We should ask the MC and DC of Dunkwa, for example, why is it that they are giving tanks to excavators that have not, Minerals Commission itself has not properly tagged to be able to be doing mining? Are they telling us that all the people they have issued those tags to are all mining legally? So our MCs and DCs are major part of it, and it's not only them. It is a lot of the politically exposed persons. It is a lot of the rich and influential people who are just making the work of His Excellency and the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources very difficult for them.
Right, Ken Ashigbe is the convener of the Media Coalition Against Galamsey. Thank you.
Well, tonight, betting and gambling, early pregnancy and grinding poverty are stealing the future of children in northern Ghana, pushing them out of school and onto the streets. A new Africa Education Watch report says over 3,500 pupils have dropped out of school across the 5 regions of the north, with older adolescents hardest hit and boys accounting for nearly 60% of those affected. The report also reveals that entire communities still lack schools, forcing children to walk an average of 3 kilometers just to access basic education, a distance many never make. My colleague Michael Ashali has been studying the report and joins me in the studio with details. Michael, let's start with the 5 regions and the breakdown of the number of dropouts.
So we know that a total of 3,536 individuals in 2025 alone have dropped out, with the northern region leading with 1,219 of those, followed by the upper east region where you have 1,309. I beg your pardon. So upper east rather will start. So 1,309 for upper east. Northern region follows with 1,219, and then you have upper west region also coming to 428, and then northeast region with 231. A total will bring you to 3,536 individuals have dropped out in the last year alone. If you look at the disaggregation again, you also see that between the 4 and 5 years of age, about 175 in these 5 regions. But what is more alarming is that getting to the end of the education, between 15 and 17, this should be between JHS 1 and JHS 3, you have 1,464. That is where you have the majority of people actually dropping out of school.
Well, this is obviously not the same across all the districts in the 5 regions of the north. How did the districts fare in this particular instance?
So if you look at the districts, I'll just walk you through about 5 of them that have some of the highest numbers. If you go to Nanumba South District, it has 574 of them dropped out. Again, the reasons they gave in that particular district was that poverty and then single parentage. It means that a lot of individual parents have to shoulder the burden of the family. Yes. And again, if you go to Busa North, 441 children in the school-going age were out of school. The reasons they gave was child labor, poverty, low parent interest. And then if you go to Talensi, they have 339 individuals that were out of school at the time that this report was done. It said that the reasons were low interest in school, teenage pregnancy, early marriage, gambling, and then again, galamsey. And then if you go to Wa West, 266 children had dropped out of school. Quick money was one of the reasons. Poverty, peer influence, and then distant school, meaning that some of the students, if you look at the report some students had to travel as long as 3 kilometers before they could access the nearest school. And then finally, if you go to Nyindam, 250 children were out of school. The reasons they gave were poverty and low parent interest.
Well, the report also shows that more boys than girls are dropping out of school.
Yes, so we know that almost 60%, 59.9% were boys of the number of people that have dropped out in the 5 northern regions. So 59.9%, which were boys, were out of school at the time, and only 40.9% were 40.1% were ladies.
So, Michael, we've been speaking to the Executive Secretary of Africa Education, Kojo Asari, and he's been explaining in detail the underlying reasons why many students are dropping out of school.
He explains to us why the likes of poverty, single parentage, and also betting and gambling have been the major reasons these students have decided to opt out of school.
If you look at the drivers, mainly economic drivers, child labor, galamsey, betting, these 3 things are normally, male-dominated activities, illegal activities for children, I must say. And so you would expect that in Talensi, for instance, where Galamsey is keeping many young boys out of school, you will see more girls being in school compared to boys, given the population dynamic. In urban or peri-urbans, like in Busa North, you go to Nyindam South, you go to Bushegu, you see the trend that where the drivers are economic, mainly betting, galamsey, some form of abubuya, etc. You see that in these 3 key economic activities that we are recording in the census, the boys are the major participants in them. And so that perhaps explains the dynamic we are seeing in the northern regions.
And Kojo Asari says although government has a policy that makes basic education compulsory, it is not being enforced.
I must admit that, yes, parental responsibility is key. We've seen that there are some communities where even though there's a school, parents are not minded to enroll their children in the school. And this is where we need Parliament to come in here. And I must say that, yes, we work closely with Parliament, and we are going to have an engagement with Parliament on this census early next year. In 38.2 of our Constitution, there is provision for free compulsory universal basic education. We've been doing it for 19 years, since the FKIP started. The challenge is that Ghana has still not mastered the courage to declare basic education compulsory. The discussion always within the political corridors has been that, well, how do we declare basic education compulsory when we've not provided adequate schools, for instance? But the reality is that no country in this world has adequate schools, has adequacy in any education inputs required to deliver education service. It starts from somewhere.
Let's get on to the telephone lines right now and speak to the MP for Talensi, Daniel Mahama. Glad you could join us this evening. Your area has been cited as one of the hotspots for school dropouts. A staggering 339 students dropped out during this survey. And issues like early child marriage, teenage pregnancy, galamsey, gambling, and lack of interest in school are contributing factors. As an MP, what are you doing to address these issues so that your constituents go to school?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, please the name again, your name?
I am Kenneth, Gyasi.
Okay, but Kenneth, Gyasi, please, thank you very much for your opportunity, and thank you to the people of Talensi. Yeah, this school dropout has become something issue that we have all been complaining and discussing about. Like the earlier man said, and you also actually repeated on this things. The causes of the school dropout actually is about, one is that access to school in some area, the distance is a problem. And two, we talk about this mining that have come into Talensi. It's also a factor. During vacation, these students, some of them found themselves to go and do the mining activity. So when they get some money, and then after that, when school is open, it becomes a problem for their parents to force them back. And that has become one of the major issues. And seasonal farming too is also a problem in Talensi. During the rain season, these are parents, we have to assist them. When we were young, we used to do it, but so just a force, we have to go back. Some people, when they drop out within seasonal farming, to assist their parents, going back to school is a problem. These are the factors actually that is causing the school dropout in the area. But truly, I think mining has become a problem. Why do I say so? When they were writing the DC, I went around. You could see that the male enrollment in the school was so low compared to the female. And it is these males that actually go to do this mining activity. So in Tennessee, we are trying to put in some measures that will actually improve on it. And these are things that we are doing education, public education, to tell parents about the need of the children to go to school, to let them know that the gold is just a silver plate, which will not last forever. It's something that have just come, and within a period of time, it will not be there. So when a child is not educated, you have a problem in future. And then we are trying to also make sure we work on our lower primary, that the children picks up in the earlier stage, so they have an interest in school. You know, that with people will actually don't mention it, but that's the factor. In the lower primary, if it is not well equipped and the child actually does not pick on at the lower primary, well, the child doesn't have interest in school. But if the child is actually, he picks up at the lower primary and is good, he found school as an hobby and something that he attends to. But anytime he's in school, when they ask a question, he cannot answer, and the colleagues will be laughing at him or her. It is also a major cause of school dropout. And I encourage that for that reason, the government should, the Ministry of Education, to make sure that the lower primary education becomes something so important that we'll equip all the schools so that the lower primary, the children can pick up. When we do that, it will actually also prevent school dropout.
Daniel, and there are other challenges as well, teenage pregnancy, early marriage, and gambling. What are you doing to solve these issues?
I think teenage pregnancy is a factor, but truly in Tennessee, when you check on it, the teenage pregnancy has not been something so serious like that. And early marriage, because of education, it has actually gone down with that. But gambling is something which I cannot testify to in Tennessee. For gambling, it is something that is not real in our area.
So
it is only the mining that is a problem, and then teenage pregnancy, when you check, it is also an issue, but not so much. And then early marriage is a factor when the child is a dropout. But because when they were going to write this DC, the whole Tennessee only had two places that we had children who were pregnant. So when you take the assessment, we cannot actually talk about teenage pregnancy being a factor of school dropouts in the area.
Okay, Daniel Mahama, thank you very much. That's the MP for Talency, and that brings us to business. And George, we are faced here with the latest. George, what have you got for us?
Hi, Kenneth, and coming up in business, U.S. government to press ahead with freeze on foreign assistance to Ghana until progress is made on restructuring debt, and agent-to-agent cash transfers top list of total value of mobile money transactions for last year. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials, and Syntax tanks and Pepsodent, Herbal and Charcoal.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information.
MTN.
Sika boom. Fidelity Bank say save and win. Muntio. Sika boom. Just deposit and begin. Every 500 CDs you For a month, you get 1 point all at once. More deposits, gets more points in. More points, more cash you feel win. How many points? 1 point every 500 CD. What if you win? 5,000 CDs monthly. And the grand prize? Hey! 100,000 Ghana CDs.
Don't wait. Visit any Fidelity branch or agent nationwide to deposit in multiples of 500 CDs. The more you deposit, the better your chances to win 5,000 CDs monthly and 100,000 CDs in the grand draw. Terms and conditions apply. Win with us. Fidelity Bank, believe with us.
Sika-boom.
This is an NLA approved promo, now running on the Caritas Lottery platform.
At Star Oil, we believe fuel is not just a commodity, it is a lifeline. Every cedi saved at the pump is a cedi that helps a mother send her child to school, a farmer transports food to the market, or a young entrepreneur deliver their first order. Our mission is to make fuel more accessible by offering consistently competitive prices, helping ease the financial burden on Ghanaian households. In a country where transportation costs can consume nearly a third of household income, this is not just business. It's a social responsibility. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
For many years, we've been solving Ghana's water storage problems with quality tanks. Syntex tank. You know, it is strong, it's tough, and reliable. And now, we're in to solve the #1 problem when it comes to water carriage: our pipes. With the state-of-the-art machinery, Syntex is providing very strong, tough, reliable, high-quality, and durable pipes at a reasonable price. This is Syntex Pipes. With Syntex Pipes, water flows wow. I mean, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. If they carry water, no wahala. With Syntex Pipe, our water problems are solved. Syntex, are you strong? Are you tough?
Brushing gets more fun with your kids with the new Pepsodent Kids toothpaste. Give your smiles protection that lasts. Grab yours today from a store near you. This advert is FDA approved.
Hello? Hello, Auntie Abena. You won't believe what just happened. Grandma received her 4 TV. 4 TVs? Yes, 4.
Okay, I'm coming. Kojo, maybe I'm it's like a scandal now. You are using it to spread grandma like that. Spread grandma? 4 TVs, 2 fridges, microwave. Abba, Kojo, why? You want to open an electrical shop for her?
Hey, no. Eh? It's a regular 100 cities I send her.
Let's call grandma.
Grandma.
Hello? Hey, grandma. So who is buying all those stuff for
the luckiest? We've been told me 5 times a year.
Yes, so with the luckiest, anytime you buy tickets up to 100 cities, whether small or at once, you are guaranteed to win a free gift. TV sets, fridges, hampers, airtime, cash. Freebies they drop like rain. Remember to dial *712#, choose option 4 and follow the prompt. With the luckiest, everybody gets to win something.
If I win, you win.
Sasso, si come tonton preko. Sasso, mi si come tonton preko. Edrana drami ne buseshe. Ye hakesia ne malaria. Minya me pone me sasso spray. Every mosquito study run away. Come on tonton preko. Sasso, mi se come tonton preko. Come on tonton preko.
Sasso, kum tonton preko. Nani sham ne die, demo stronko.
This advert is FDA approved.
You welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, U.S. government has revealed that it has no plans of reviewing the free zone donor assistance to Ghana until progress is made on restructuring. Instead, the U.S. earlier this year announced a decision to freeze all forms of support for Ghana, including grants and technical assistance. Now, speaking at a media roundtable in Accra, the U.S. State Department Deputy Assistant Secretary for West Africa, William Stevens, says the decision is in line with America's laws.
And I will say that the Mohammed administration has made several key payments to American companies in the last 6 months and has been working on restructuring bilateral debt. So the government of Ghana defaulted funding from Exim Bank a few years ago. I can't remember which year, but a few years ago. And we're in the midst of restructuring that debt. But as long as there's a bilateral default, we aren't able to give additional funding directly to the government. It's a law. And so we're working on that. We're hopeful that we'll get that done shortly.
U.S. State Department Deputy Assistant Secretary for West Africa, William Stevens. Now, the Bank of Ghana is insisting that its non-interest banking model is not restricted to any particular religious faith. The central bank, in a set of questions and answers released today, said the service is available to any individual or business that is interested in this banking model. The central bank earlier this month released a set of measures that will serve as guidelines for this new banking model. Now, some market watchers have actually described this non-interest banking as Islamic banking. Now, agent-to-agent cash transfers actually topped the list of mobile money transfers for last year. This was captured in the latest financial payments data released by the Bank of Ghana. There is more in this report.
Monetary transfers done by mobile money agents still topped the list in terms of transaction types for last year. It accounted for more than 30% in terms of the total value of mobile money transactions for the year. It was followed by third-party transaction and cash-out transactions. Some industry watchers say the development showed that more persons and even businesses may be relying on these mobile money agents for various transactions to be done for them. Data again showed some significant jump in all these transaction types in terms of value over the past 2 years. Again, the report showed monies held on wallets that has been kept with commercial banks as deposits reached 27.2 billion cedis ending last year. This actually represents almost 50% jump from what was recorded in 2023. Active mobile money agent for 2024 stood at 23.5 million.
And that is a Business Desk report. Meanwhile, banking and finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amwa, said the development shows that more and more people are confident in this platform.
What this is telling us is that our system is finally accept mobile money. We are finally growing day in, day out confidence about system of transferring money and making use of money. It's about acceptance of this digital system of transacting. No wonder we are seeing these heavy numbers. So it is good for the country and it is good for the economy because we are accepting it and we are making use of it.
Banking and finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amwa. The Bank of Ghana data showed that for last year, the total value of mobile money transactions reached a little over 3 trillion Ghana cedis. Now, President of the Canada-Ghana Chamber of Commerce, Linda Vanassi, is asking government to further take a look at scrapping what she describes as nuisance taxes that continue to burden businesses. She made this call at the Chamber's end-of-year gathering program.
I still believe that the government needs to do a bit more in creating the enabling environment for business people. What do I mean? First of all, even though there's some taxes, the taxes are still a lot. I believe we need to stabilize the exchange rate. The fluctuation is actually affecting businesses. So we need a more stable rate, and we need men involved in more develop the infrastructure.
Linda Basanani is the president of the Canada-Ghana Chamber of Commerce. Let's turn our attention to the stock market. And 3 shares ended trading today on the Ghana Stock Exchange with some significant appreciation in each price of that share. Now, they were Cowbank, Gold, and Total. Now, more than 1 million shares also exchanged hands at the end of trading on the Ghana Stock Exchange. If you had invested on the market from January this year, you've made almost 100% on your investment, far higher than what other investment tools are currently offering on the market. And that's all for business on News Night. Back to you, Kenneth.
Well, thank you very much, George, for bringing us the latest in business. It's now time for sports, and Musbao, who has been on leave for a long time, is back. But before Musbao joins us, though, imagine carrying your 2-year-old child on your back through airports and forced to raise tens of thousands of dollars for a bone marrow transplant abroad, and later returning home after countless medical interventions in India and Singapore to watch that child die. Well, that is the sad story of a mother whose son fought acute leukemia, a cancer of the blood. Listen to excerpts from Joy News' latest special assignment documentary, Leukemia, Last Chance Abroad, produced by Emmanuel Jivenu.
If I had married and I had not given birth, oh, this woman has not given birth, and I gave birth to watch him for 4 years, to suffer. It felt like a bad joke on 1st April. It was like a very bad, terrible joke on 1st April. Of all the pranks on 1st April, that
1st April was no prank for Elizabeth's family. For her, motherhood came with a gift, and then with grief. Her first child, Jason, was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia before his 2nd birthday. Treatments began in Ghana.
I said, we pray. She said, yes, we pray hard.
But cancer is cruel. After 2 years, it returned. The only option left, a bone marrow transplant abroad.
If we were now starting it, maybe we would have gotten the money you're asking for. But after 2 years, cancer treatment is not cheap.
The fight was no longer private.
The 20 cities. Some people sent as much as 2 cities.
India was cold, foreign, and overwhelming.
Bone marrow they've put in his body, it's already at 98%. So she looks at it and she's like, we've done it. We are there.
Yeah, we are going.
I was just happy to be coming out. November, Jason finishes eating. He says, Mommy, my stomach. This boy starts screaming. And I called Dr. Tego and said, Lily, the cancer is back. Oh. She said, Jesus, not again. I said, Dr. Tego, we are heading towards clinical trial. She said, yes. All the things I had gone to do in India, from smuggling rice cooker pots into the ward to cook for my son, to chasing people around with bills, cancelling bills. I'm going to do it all over again. The only country that was left was Singapore. At the time, I didn't have 2 cities. I didn't have shishi.
With help from sponsors, Elizabeth made the trip. In Singapore, things only got harder.
So they took a vote and they decided that it wasn't the best use of their medicine. So Jason lost. So what that meant was that was the end of the road. Jason has fought so hard, but it's time to let him rest.
Gyasi returned to Ghana to spend his final days.
And then I went out of the ward.
Well, meanwhile, chairman of the Leukemia Projects Foundation, Chief Alhassan Andani, says the country needs an estimated $10 million to build a world-class treatment center.
We want to be able to provide at least minimal capacity in facilities to be able to catch this disease early, can at least have a higher survival rate. And look, I mean, I think we have gone through the numbers in terms of the structure, equipment, but anything up to about $10 million is what we're estimating to bring it up to a global standard.
Well, he's also appealing to philanthropists and corporate bodies to support the effort.
It is just about highlighting the problem, bringing the attention of government policymakers and especially the philanthropists who put in a lot of cash to help individuals to rather let's build a structure that is self-sustaining. So for us, this opportunity you've given us is to again appeal to philanthropists to support the construction of this center of excellence.
And that was the chairman of the Leukemia Project Foundation, Chief Al-Hassan and Danny. And you can watch the full documentary on Joel News's YouTube channel and our other social media platforms. It's now time for sport. And Musbao Razak is here. What's the latest?
Yes, Pearl. Well, the big news today is Black Stars have a game against Germany come March 30th next year. And the head coach, Tuado, has been speaking, and he has described the game as one which will offer the team the perfect opportunity to test their readiness for the 2026 World Cup. Now, the Black Stars, that, of course, announcement came from the Ghana Football Association, where they indicated that they have secured that game against Germany, which is expected to take place in Stuttgart as part of preparations for the global showpiece. Now, in recent time, the Black Stars lost to South Korea and Japan in their recent friendlies ahead of the World Cup, and the Germany game offers the Black Stars a timely test ahead of the World Cup Group L clash against England, Croatia, and Panama. Now, the association, through its communications director, Henry Asantichum, has been reacting to this very development.
Germany is a top team in Europe with some amazing players in their setup. They are coached by a very young Nagelsmann who has done very well for himself since he burst onto the scene. We also believe that they will give us a very good test and a very good opposition going into the tournament. They give us a European flavor. We've got 2 European teams in our group, and you cannot take it for granted, the quality of Germany, the opposition, and the tests they are going to give us. So among the teams available and the discussions, engagements that we had prior to this announcement, we felt Germany will be right fit for match.
That's Henry Asantichum, Communications Director of the Ghana Football Association there. Well, Pearl, so the Black Stars will play Germany March 30th. Tomorrow, however, local Black Stars. You know that we have a local Black Stars, right? Black Galaxies. They've got a game against South Africa tomorrow. And it's South Africa using that game to prepare for the AFCON, which is set to kick off come the 21st of December, next week Sunday. Black Stars are not there, but we'll watch it, right?
Of course, we'll watch it. Musbao, thank you so much. Now, latest Bank of Ghana data tracked by Joe News Research shows Ghana's external debt profile has ballooned by $1.3 billion since the beginning of the year, with total public debt stock swelling by more than 70 billion cedis in quarter 3. While the central bank's data shows the cedi's relatively poor performance against the US dollar in quarter 3 heavily affected the debt situation. Earlier this year, the finance minister announced that prudent management of the exchange rate situation had resulted in the debt stock falling by more than 100 billion cedis. Let's listen to him make this announcement as he read the 2025 mid-year budget in July.
Right Honourable Speaker, our commitment to fiscal discipline, through prudent debt management and exchange rate appreciation has resulted in a significant improvement in Ghana's debt profile. Public debt reduced from 726.7 billion as at end December 2024 to 613 billion as at end June 2025. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's public debt reduced by 113.7 billion Ghana cedis in 6 months. Mr. Speaker, for the first time in Ghana's history, there is a negative 15.6% rate of debt accumulation. Mr. Speaker, this has significantly improved Ghana's debt sustainability.
Also, that was the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasiel Atuforsen, some 5 months ago. But what changed? Let's get some data answers. The head of research here at Joy News, Isaac Kofi, has all the details, and he joins us in the studio on this particular issue. Kofi, tell us, how did this position change?
Well, unfortunately, the status of the CD exchange rate in the third quarter of 2025 actually has changed the story of our debt stock. One that's reduced from 769.4 billion Ghana cedis in the first quarter to 613 billion cedis that the finance minister spoke about in the second quarter, has now increased by some 71.6 billion cedis in the third quarter, heavily due to exchange rate pressures that the cedi saw in the third quarter. And remember that in the third quarter, the cedi actually lost about 20% of its value against the US dollar. This is the significant reason why we are seeing the debt stock rise by more than 70%, billion cedis in just 3 months.
Isaac Ofori, thank you so much. He's the head of research here at Joy News. We can go on the phone lines and speak to Kojo Nkrumah. He's the ranking member on Parliament Economic and Development Committee. Good evening. Thank you for your time on Newsnight. Well, debt stock up by some 70 billion cedis. Do you think this is a clear case of exchange rate mismanagement?
I won't say mismanagement. You will recall that we cautioned the government against celebrating temporary movements in headline numbers while ignoring the structural weaknesses that are still underneath the economy. What had happened and what they wanted us to celebrate was a negative rate of debt accumulation. And that was because of two things. Because the currency had been, may I say, heavily juiced, and so it had appreciated. And then number two, we had a debt exchange program, which had also then restructured our debt. But nothing significantly had changed both on the fiscal or on the monetary side. Despite our caution, nobody, paid attention to it. Now you find out that just a small 20% depreciation in 3 months, the debt stock has gone back up by about 70 billion. It's because the structure and the fundamentals have not changed. We are of the view that this change is about three major things. First is that the government has actually borrowed about $360 million from the World Bank. That is the one that they brought to Parliament and tried to hide it, that it was a financing facility until we called them out. Then secondly, about $1 billion of our renegotiated debt is now being capitalized. So though it's not a new inflow, it's treated as a new, disbursement in the accounting. But even if you account for those two, you still have about a 50 billion cedi change in our debt stock, which is mostly because of the appreciation of the currency. And this is why several years ago we kept making the point that the propaganda by the NDC that once the debt stock has changed, you must show projects you have done with it, is not holding fidelity to the truth. At that time, they disputed it. Today, we're applying the same rule. Then everybody will be asking them that, so this change in 70 billion cedis in our debt stock, show us the project that you've done with it. And that won't be a fair analysis. So it's their own propaganda that has now come back to haunt them. Other than that, what would have happened is that it is a change in the currency position mostly that accounts for about 50 billion by our estimates, another 360 million because of the World Bank IDA facility, and about $1 billion because of the capitalized restructured items on our old debt stock.
Kojo Nkrumah is the ranking member on Parliament's Economic and Development Committee. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
And that's how we end Newsnight tonight. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi.
My name is Ofori.
Have a good evening.